And you're watching Abundance Show on Global Abundance Organization Television, GAO TV, and we are featuring another super guest. And welcome back to the show. Today we have a guest who truly embodies a proactive and ambitious mindset. Hafsah Khan is the I mean, this is very difficult with the penultimate year LLB law student at University of Birmingham and aspiring commercial and law and land law barrister. She is not just excelling in her studies, she is also actively building her career through range of impressive experiences, including being brand ambassador for Wiser Academy, representing top firms like KPMG and Clifford Chance. We are thrilled to have her on the show. Hafsa, your recent success as a top 50 candidates for the Bright Network in Internship Experience UK and the thoughtful question you asked about ESG initiatives really stood out. It shows a forward thinking approach to your career. For students who are just starting their personal journey, what do you believe is single most important action they can take to build a career that in both successful and personally fulfilling? Before you answer this question, I'd like to ask, how are you, Afza, now?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
That's cool. And before you answer this question, I'll really request you to give us your life journey.
So I first started university 2 years ago, and I studied law at the University of Birmingham. I've just completed my second year and will be going into my third year in September. And during my time, I was taking part in a number of activities like work experience, volunteering at law firms, doing part time work, and obviously studying as well. So, um, as part of like my journey, I was working at McDonald's, and I've obviously gained a lot of customer service skills. Um, I've also like taken part in a number of work experience with law firms. So recently, in my second year, I was taking part in pro bono with a family law clinic. And initially, what that is I was interacting with clients in a family law clinic. And obviously, I had a lot of exposure to the law firm and how it operates. Onto the question of how students can build their network. So I would encourage all students to take on every opportunity as much as possible, and that's something that I've also been doing. I've taken every opportunity I can and just building on my skills and my network as well. So, for example, recently I was on Bright Network as a student leadership board member, where I hosted many events with students across the UK, over 2,000 students. And I talked about how they can also build a network and get into a career in law, and how to access this and make this possible for them.
Thank you so much for your life journey and for following the question, answering deeply with passionate with passion. Your Afsa, your profile shows a clear focus on becoming a commercial and land law barrister. What was the key moment or experience that made you realize this was the specific career path you wanted to pursue?
So over like my time at university, I took part in a lot of like work experience opportunities. So how recently I did family law. I went to a family law clinic. So initially, I wanted to get into family law because I really had an interest in that. Um, but after exposure to the family law clinic, I thought it was really emotional for me, and I thought that that was not the right area of law I wanted to get into. So I had a I had researched into other areas like commercial and land, and commercial particularly interested me because I like working with businesses, and I took part in like a virtual work experience with B&M Advocates, which is a Uganda based law firm, in my first year of study. And that provided me with like corporate and commercial awareness, which really inspired me. My second area is land and property law. That sparked my interest from my second year module in land law. I think I really enjoyed that module, and that's where my second interest came from.
Thank you so much for telling us your sparkling interest into the land and other first and second choices. Okay, my second question is, Hafsa, you have a great mix of experiences from being Wiser Academy brand ambassador to role on student leadership board for the Bright Network. How do you internationally leverage these diverse, non traditional roles to build a unique and abundant career path in the legal field?
So, like I've said, I take on every opportunity as possible. And I initially, I applied for an intern role at Bright Network with commercial law stream. Um, I successfully passed that, and I also saw another opportunity to become a student leadership member. And initially, what that is like I host events and webinars for students across the UK in universities, and like I spoke about how they can get into a law into the area of law. And through like my experiences, and I asked like questions and answered questions that student may have. So that's how I initially got into Bright Network. Wise Academy, they actually approached me on LinkedIn. So one of the recruitment team messaged me on LinkedIn to tell me about this opportunity, and then I just applied and I successfully passed the interview stages. So in September, what I'll be doing is representing brands like KPMG or L'Oreal. There'll be a specific brand that I represent, and during my time, um, I'll be creating posts, LinkedIn posts, social media posts to um, gain awareness about their graduate employers, about these graduate employers, and like any roles that they may be hiring for, and just raising awareness, telling students about it, and building a network that students can feel they can come to me, and they can obviously trust me to apply to these roles and seek guidance from me.
Wow, that's was such a gracious offer that you can offer to your fellow students. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And my next question is, in your recent post about Bright Network event, you asked Clyde and Co about their ESG initiatives for underrepresented group. This shows you are thinking beyond just legal theory. In your view, why is it so important for aspiring lawyers to be engaged with issues like social responsibility and diversity?
So when I'm applying to firms even now, what I think beyond just commercially. Obviously, the firm's culture and environment is so important that you underestimate it sometimes. So if, for example, working at some of my part-time jobs, when there's a positive environment, the work is done better, and like more successfully, and that's so important even at law firms. And when you're filling in applications, it's not just about a firm that is well known, but their culture and environment must be positive, and a supportive environment for you to excel, especially when I'm applying to law firms now. um, I'll be doing the SQE on the side. So that's an exam for qualifying as a solicitor, which is my ultimate goal. And I think that the environment is so important, especially when you're having to juggle so many things at once.
Thank you, Hafsah. Hafsah, your role as sale advisor at Superdrug and student living advisor at University of Birmingham have equipped you with strong skills in communication and customer service. How has these experiences, with, which are seemingly separate from law, spread you for the practical and interpersonal challenges you expect to face as a barrister?
Um, so so my time at Superdrugs as sales advisor, obviously, I take part in a lot of customer service that builds on like communication, and confidence, which is also some transferable skills for law. So you shouldn't underestimate any part-time job or any work experience, and that's something I would suggest all students to do. So even if it's not law related, even any part-time jobs that you're doing, there's a lot of um, transferable skills that you can develop for applications and for mentioning it in applications. um, Another, for my role at University of Birmingham as a student living advisor, initially what we do is handle calls, reply to emails, reply to queries and complaints, and it's a lot of like talking as well, with students, and parents as well. And that is, I think I've built on a lot of professional writing skills, not only through emails, but also like on calls. So that's another transferable skill for law, which is why I say don't underestimate any part-time jobs that you've got, even if it's not law related, because there's a lot of transferable skills that you can mention there.
Thank you. Okay, my next question is, you shared a powerful quote from Richard Howard about the failure isn't a bad thing, it's chance to grow. Can you share a time when you faced a setback and how embarrassing that lesson ultimately led to an abundance of new opportunities or personal growth?
So I would say that, well, there's two experiences. There's a lot of like applications where I've been rejected, and obviously that's, I wouldn't say it was embarrassing, but it was definitely a bit disappointing, especially when you spend so much time on the application, and then in the end you just get rejected. But that's a sense of like achievement in itself, because you can obviously grow. And I would say that even currently I'm not the best version of myself, but at this moment of time I am. And as like the years go by, and as I fill in more applications, obviously not do well in some areas, that's just um, a learning stage of my life, where you just learn from every failure that you get. um, so for example, if I didn't fill in that application, and I didn't get rejected, I wouldn't know any of my weaknesses. And it's just a chance to improve on all my weaknesses, step by step.
Thank you. Everything goes by step. Thank you. In your about section, you mentioned being eager to expand your network as a brand ambassador for Wiser Academy and member of Bright Network. You are clear, well versed in this. For a student just starting out, What is your single most important piece of advice for effectively building and nurturing professional connections?
So I would say to all students that you should definitely build your network. Um, so this could be going to events, and speaking to professionals that you want to become. So, for example, I do want to become a solicitor. So, I want to build my network by speaking to other solicitors, speaking to other trainee solicitors that could obviously help me with not only applications but building my network and expanding. So I've spoken to a lot of professionals, legal professionals, and they have suggested to build my network, um, because they can. When you have a larger network, you can also receive a lot of opportunities, just like the one I received for Wise Academy, where I did not know about this opportunity, but I was given it and I was made aware about it because of my network on LinkedIn. So that's why it's so important to build your network, speak to different professionals, um, have a growth mindset and an open mindset where failure shouldn't be seen as something to discourage you, but to encourage you to do better and work on your weaknesses.
And how do you develop your own connections? I mean, what are the strategies or what tools do you use?
So I've went to a lot of events. I've also um, I use my LinkedIn, so I do a lot of connections. So I connect with a lot of legal professionals, and from time to time I message them about any opportunities, or I just message them generally. So to get like more in depth about the law firm that they're working at. So, for example, currently I'm receiving mentorship from a trainee solicitor um, at Brown Jacobson, and she's guiding me through like applying for training contracts. So I would suggest messaging on LinkedIn and just like it can be daunting, but a lot of legal professionals understand that you're going through the same thing that they went through, and they are happy to help you. So that's why I would like recommend you to expand on your network and message legal professionals, because that's something I did, and I think I definitely benefit from that now.
Yeah, I also have the similar experience and I find LinkedIn awesome. This is slow in the beginning, but I mean, it's exponential as the time goes by. Okay,
Yeah.
Afsa, my next question. You are balancing your demanding LLB degree with role on a student leadership board, being a brand ambassador, and a part-time job. What are your key strategies for time management and maintaining your well-being, and how do you decide which opportunities to pursue to create an abundant and focused path for yourself?
Yeah, so I think in the beginning it was a lot to take in. So currently I've got two part-time jobs. I've also got a side business where I do like Mendi, and obviously I was on like the student leadership board for Bright Network, and I had a lot of back-to-back meetings. I had my part-time jobs, and not a lot of rest. So what I would do is I would create a timetable each day and set out a number of tasks I need to do for that day. Um, Despite that, I would take time out for myself, go to the gym, go on a drive. I like driving, so that's something like that would distract me from like such a busy schedule. And then like in the evening times I would just rest for a bit, watch some TV. So I think my biggest strategy was creating like a to-do list for each day, so that I can ensure that I get all the tasks done for that day, but also not be behind on any work or any meeting scheduled.
Thank you. You've chosen a very specific path as an aspiring commercial and land law barrister. Looking ahead, what is one major trend or challenge that you see engaging in the area of law? And what makes you excited about the prospect of working within your career?
So I think one major challenge is just generally the area of law. So like I know that it can be extremely difficult to build your network, and just the area of law is very competitive. So as a job, it's a competitive field to get into, and that's why building your network, taking in every opportunity is so important. So that is something that's quite daunting, but it's quite encouraging for me, especially coming from a background that has no knowledge of the legal field. And as a first generation going studying at university is quite daunting as well. Um, but I think it's quite exciting because like no one from my family has experienced this, and I'm so lucky to have this experience and get into the area of law, which was quite my passion.
Thank you. Thank you for the insightful reply. As a brand ambassador, Hafsa, for a Wiser Academy, you are in a unique position to represent both law firms and other professional services firms like KPMG. What key insights have you gained from this dual role, and how has it influenced your perspective on what makes a top tier employee in today's market?
So I haven't started this position. I'll be starting in September. But what I can say is um, having the opportunity to represent top graduate employers is quite exciting, because not only will I be representing them, but I'll also be that student and that person for other students to look up to and seek guidance. And also, they'll have the opportunity to speak to me about these opportunities. And I think that's quite encouraging for me because, like I've said, coming from a family that has no exposure to law firms and generally in the area of law, I think it's so important for students to be able to have this. And it's quite exciting because I like speaking to people. I like helping people and helping students, knowing that I've obviously been in their position and being that person for them, and being that resource for them that can come to and speak to about opportunities at these graduate employers with these graduate employers is so exciting for me.
Thank you, Absa. My last but not the least questions, because we'll be then open to formal discussion, is lastly the link. Your LinkedIn profile is exponentially well managed and active, serving as a powerful tool to share your achievements and network. What advice would you give to other students about strategically using social media platforms to build their professional brand and career and abundance of opportunities for themselves?
So I would suggest LinkedIn is underestimated, and I can see that a lot of students don't use it. But LinkedIn is very important. It's sort of building your brand and your personal profile socially. And once you connect with like other legal professionals or other professionals that you see like that you would like to become, it's so important for them to be able to see that you're so passionate about working with them. So having a strong profile on LinkedIn is so important. And you should add every opportunity you get on there. So, for example, adding your part-time jobs, adding a small description of yourself, possibly adding in a profile, and that will be look quite positive to building your brand. Another thing I would suggest is attending events. So, events with other legal professionals where you can network with, ask any questions, and raise any queries that you may have. Um, Also taking in of every opportunity and work experience. So I know even if it's not law related, so in my first year of study, I took part in a number of employer challenges, and those were with like brands like HS2, Transport for West Midlands, and West Midlands Police. And they weren't necessarily to do with law, but they definitely gave a lot of transferable skills. So I took part in a lot of leadership, presenting in front of a large audience, and interacting and networking with companies like HS2. And I think that was such a great opportunity in my professional life. As a first year student, who was very scared of networking. I think I found it very scary and daunting in the beginning. But as I built my network, as I spoke to a lot of professionals, and as I took part in a lot of leadership, I definitely grew on my confidence as well. And that's something that I would suggest. So as you do like attend events and take on every opportunity, you will build on your confidence a lot during this time.
This gives me tons of energy when a person of just two, I mean, you're just 2 decades and you're very young, and I can see you're going, I mean, Galaxian thinking, and you're thinking beyond impact, even working for networking. And today, I believe your net worth is your network, and your network is your net worth, vice versa. Okay, it's as you've heard of it, Global Abundance Organization is the organization that I have just founded. It's been a couple of months now, and I have just worked for three months or maybe a little lesser, and I have been able to take it around the globe. I have a network starting right from Silicon Valley. That is still my prime focus there, just because that's the area of tech world. Every day, every second, you would find new technology, and that's impacting the whole globe. See it, be it Grok 4 or anything Elon Musk is doing, or any Peter Jimenez is doing there, or even the other expatriates around the globe. They are there making headlines every day. So what I'm doing, I am of the similar mindset. My heart resonates what you think of networking. So what is abundance to you, and then how do you see Global Abundance Organization?
I think it's really inspiring that obviously you're speaking to a lot of students and young professionals, and you're building that network. So I think it's important for the show as well, for Abundance Show, because um, building on that network will be able to help you. So I know that you've mentioned that you're looking into like the war as well. And obviously, from my perspective, I think it's quite important. So students like myself would want to help out with anything, like any opportunities that you would provide. And also, I think it's quite important to speak to students that are that have an open mindset and are seeking opportunities in different aspects, um, that could obviously help as well, help with your company.
That's really amazing and really very positive gesture to me, and this gives me lot of energy. I mean, the idea coming from you. And okay, what I want, why I'm focusing on Birmingham, just because I've got my two brothers there in, and there are a lot of other families too in the huge big setup in Birmingham, and the university is there. I really want, I am focusing to generate a community there in the University of Birmingham, and just start these webinars, seminars, and workshops. And with be I want you be the founding stone there, and just talk to the people of your own mindset, those who are for networking. And this global abundance organization is abundance. This is in fact based on international connections, global connections. And I am getting a community of change makers together, the people of impact, tech world professionals like yourself, and students. Just because these students are the people, they're gonna be huge big momentum. And the University of Birmingham is the first university that I am focusing on. And I really request you to just get connected to the people of your own mindset, those who want to work for social impact, for social justice. And if there is no justice, there can't be any progress, any prosperity, or any, there can't be anything. There is no justice, then nothing prevails at all. So that's my request to you, what you can do to make this dream come true.
So obviously I can speak to like students like myself. Um, and I could obviously like post on my social media about the abundance. Um, just a quick question. So what are you like? Um, what would you like us students to like help you with? Yeah,
The prime objective is to the dialogue. As we are talking today, we've talked around like half an hour now, and I know of a new world about yourself. I mean, to me you were just a name, and to you I was just a name. We've been connecting each other and being out of phase, but since we sat together, and this means a lot. So this is what I want to sit with your community in Birmingham University, or maybe other than university too. I want a community to talk about peace, prosperity, and the law must prevail. Not as in, look, you're part of the world, like you are in Birmingham or in UK. What makes UK, what's the say most one, if I ask one word, what is that is the base for the prosperity of Europeans or Americans, or the developed nations? I have no doubt that you're gonna say justice. So
yeah,
this is what I mean, my whole drive is for. So I want the whole communities of the world to work for justice and peace, prosperity. So that's what I just, if you can just float a social media post, and we can just organize a webinar, or maybe some workshop online. Then we can talk to all people, then they can have questions like you yourself, that what do I want, and what's it this is for. And then we can just deliberate there. And I am already open to new minds, new ideas, just because this is abundance is open, the world of possibilities. So as you and me are talking right now on, you're sitting in your room, I'm sitting in my house, but I mean it's as if you're in sitting same room. This is the abundance of connection. So that is what is true, equally true for connections too. So we can build connections, and what I can do, or my team or global team whole can do for you as individual, is that we can get you the attorneys, and the lawmakers, and the policymakers, and the legislators, and the people of the legal side. You can, what you can do, you can be whole time ambassador for global peace, and justice, for global justice. You can be a global abundance organizations ambassador for justice, or for the law, or
mhm,
any of the word that suits best. Just because I am not a legal person, I am not a person who has a lot
yeah,
of knowledge of legal. So that's your and then you can form your own team. And what I can add value to your team is I can connect you to Silicon Valley, USA, or other part of the world too. And then you can have seminars, webinars, and then you can break open discussions, talk to the communities, and that can help you form the policies and reforms even. Or even if you have to, you go to change some legals, and looking at yourself, like, I mean, you're such a super Muslim lady. Looking at your dressing, and I really pay tribute, and I am inspired, and this makes me, you're the second one, and I am so happy seeing you, despite the fact that you, nobody asked you what you wear, or how you carry your cell phone. But I mean, I see your belief pattern is so strong that you carry yourself as exactly like Muslim lady must. So that's what is from my side. And anything you want, so I'm open to this. I can take you across the borders and your team. What I want from you and your university students is to form a team. Let's collaborate. Let's start debating. Let's talk, communicating, and let's see how can we reshape the world. And like my part of the world, I mean, we are far way behind. But then, I mean, they're centuries behind. I mean, so I want you people of the first world to lead, and I mean, take us along too. So my whole effort is to demilitarize the globe, or at least demilitarize mentally, to keep the militaries, keep your weapons, but I mean, keep them in where they are required. Not, let's not kill each other. So that's my whole effort I'm doing. I am against wars, and I want all of globe of the world to live in peace, prosperity, collaborate, cooperate, and live in abundance of health, wealth, and happiness. Back to you, Afsar.
Yeah, thank you so much for the clarification. So I would definitely be open to that. So I can see that you obviously do want like so obviously like um I've got that legal background, and that's something that obviously you would benefit from. So I can see why you want to build like that network, and I can confidently say that I would be open to that, and I would be open to any webinars in the future to discuss on social justice, on like the legal system across like internationally and in the UK. So I'd definitely be open to that, and obviously building my network as well internationally with other legal professionals, um, and also speak to other students about the Abundance Show and their work with social justice.
Wow, that's amazing. If you can talk to your students and we can have a Zoom session together, and we there could be again, it could be online or like live, or if your students, if they do not agree for the live streaming, but we can have just a Zoom session together and brainstorm, and let's how we can take this to the globe, this global abundance organization, and under your ambassadorship. Just because, I mean, I really request you to join global abundance organization as an ambassador for the whole
Yeah.
legal section, that you can globally, I mean, you can be the global leader for the lawmakers. And then yeah, whosoever I'll be connecting, those who relating to law, I'll be getting you connected with them, and you'll be heading that part, just because you are expert in law, and you, and the aspiration I see in you, that you, what you want to inspire the world about. I mean, back to you.
Yeah, so I'd definitely be open to an ambassador with abundance. So obviously you can send over like whatever I need to do. And with like my work, I look into like how you were speaking about um going against wars. I can obviously input that, and I can form like information with like students about this topic, and how to like reduce wars, and also like um, for social justice in society.
Thank you so much, Hafsa. I really do not have a lot of words to thank you, and I'm short of vocabulary to thank you just because you get a great, because you are also busy. You have to run back to your next commitment. I
Mm,
understand. So otherwise, I could have taken you like one more hour, but I understand you've got other commitments to do. So thank
yeah.
you so much, Hafsa, for gracing my show.